Hi everyone, welcome back. I'm Ashton from Lo-Fi Book Club, and today we're going to take a look at the most recent drama over on BookTok, although it did actually originate here on YouTube. It all started with a YouTuber called Kallmekris. They're not a book account as far as I can tell. It's a mixture of content from story times, reactions, and just general commentary. However, with a following of over 11 million just on YouTube alone, it's safe to say they have a huge platform and are a big presence in the online world, which is why the BookTok community over on TikTok was so disappointed when derogatory comments were made about the romancy, and dark romance readers. The video Kallmekris made was reviewing spicy or smutty books that have been recommended to them on their social media, although one of them was 50 Shades of Grey, which I'm sure hasn't been recommended to anyone since 2015. And there was another book they reviewed which wasn't even a dark romance apparently. Right now the video is unlisted and I will link it down below if you wish to watch the whole thing. It's good for context and obviously you can form your own opinion once you've watched the video. Speaking of opinions, everyone is entitled to them, especially when it comes to book reviews and your thoughts and feelings and what you did and didn't like about certain novels. And this is what Kallmekris's video is mainly about: book reviews. The issue is when comments are made that criticize and shame a whole community who enjoy these books or the genre of the books you're reviewing. The title was changed multiple times due to backlash from viewers. I personally didn't catch all the title changes myself, but luckily Raya here on YouTube did. I hope I'm saying that right, Raya. So the titles were as follows, and this is the one that it launched with. It was, "These viral TikTok smut books are really gross." The next one was, "Women on TikTok are obsessed with these steamy books." And the next one is, "TikTok crossing the line with these spicy books." And lastly, "BookTok is wild." As a small channel myself, I understand the importance of a catchy video title. I'm not very good at them, I try. And it does seem a little rage baity to me. Rage baiting is a tactic used to provoke strong emotional reactions like anger or outrage. It basically helps increase engagement. It is a controversial content strategy and it does unfortunately work. Now listen, having a negative opinion on a book is not inherently the same as shaming those who enjoy it, but the distinction lies in how you express that opinion. For example, constructive feedback about why you didn't enjoy the writing style or pacing, sharing a subjective view such as the plot was too slow for me or I couldn't relate to the characters, that kind of thing. However, it can feel like shaming with dismissive remarks like, "This genre is poorly written," "This genre seldom has healthy relationships," which are in fact all statements that Kallmekris made.
So if you haven't read it, you can read it. Just don't expect a deep, healthy relationship story if you do. That's all. But seldom do any of these books have healthy relationships in any way, shape, or form.
Unfortunately, it doesn't stop there. They also made comments that anyone who reads these types of books needs to come up for some air and touch some grass.
For You page and book collection is full of half-naked hockey players and heavily age-gap good girl affirmations. You might need to come up for some air, touch some grass.
And also go to therapy, apparently.
So basically, in my humble opinion, anyone praising this book probably needs to schedule in some bi-weekly therapy appointments, if you catch my drift.
At one point, they also refer to these books as porn, and Christy Clogs over on BookTok brings up a valid point actually, that the written equivalent to porn is actually erotica. However, spicy books are not erotica. They have far more complex narratives and themes and are similar to shows with adult themes.
Snippet of Chris's most recent YouTube video that I find the most incorrect, the most harmful, and the most upsetting to hear.
But it's quite literally just straight up corn. It's corn.
Because this is a false equivalency, it's just factually untrue, and it's a common take, it's a hot take, people think it's funny, but it's incredibly damaging to romance as a genre, because corn has a literary equivalent, it's called erotica, and it's a set subgenre of romance. Very much like corn, erotica is about getting to the action as quickly as possible. And it does not have a complex narrative plot to it. Spicy books are not erotica. And if we're doing the equivalency of written to video medium, the equivalent of spicy books are shows with adult scenes in them. And if you would not look someone in the eyes and say, Game of Thrones is corn, then you have no right at all to call spicy books corn either.
Whether you love or hate TikTok, especially the BookTok world, it cannot be denied that that community over there is dynamic and ever evolving. The BookTok space has definitely reshaped the literary world by making reading accessible, interactive, and deeply personal. And BookTok is an inclusive and welcoming environment where readers can celebrate their preferences. As with any online community, occasional controversies arise, often sparked by negative or dismissive opinions about popular books or genres. Now, Kallmekris does put out a disclaimer at the beginning of the video saying that it's not meant to shame or offend anyone who reads these books or this genre.
And full disclaimer, this is not meant to shame or offend anybody that enjoys these books. It's your life, not mine.
And although the majority of the video was them giving their opinion and review on the books, letting us know funny quotes such as, "My inner goddess did the merengue," which was from 50 Shades of Grey. That's quite comical and a funny opinion to share. I mean, we've all made fun of book passages, I'm sure, that we found kind of silly. I know there was a couple from ACOTAR that a lot of people kept bringing up, like her toes curled. Like, what does that even mean? Her bowels turned watery. That was another big one. Had it only been kept to these personal opinions on how the themes weren't like their cup of tea, or she disliked the characters, then I honestly believe everything would have been fine, but that just wasn't the case. The tone and framing of some of these opinions definitely led to perceived shaming. The remarks were dismissive towards the readers of romantasy and dark romance literature, and it's completely understandable if you don't like dark romance. That's absolutely fine. However, dark romance does address issues like trauma, mental health, society, expectations, and this offers readers a sense of solidarity and understanding, especially for readers who have experienced difficulties or feel drawn to stories of resilience. These books provide a sense of connection. And perhaps if you're not in the BookTok space, you might not understand the importance some of these genres have to the community that loves them, enjoys them, but it wouldn't have taken much research, a little bit of diving into BookTok to realize that was the case. Kallmekris did go on to make an apology over on TikTok, and there are mixed opinions on this. Some people didn't feel like it was much of an apology, but just as many people felt like Kallmekris didn't even need to apologize and that people were taking it too far. They mentioned that their intention was to create a fun, light-hearted video, and they did not anticipate the negative reception. I'll play the video for you. It is around 5 minutes, so I might just speed it up.
Hey guys, so I made a YouTube video and I upset BookTok and just frigged up. For context, the video I made was a book review or multiple book reviews of books that I saw on BookTok, specifically more in the spicy category, in what somewhat would categorize as smut. But I thought it would make for a really fun, interesting, lighthearted video. It was not meant to be serious in the least. And I posted that on Saturday and it didn't go as I thought it would go. The first couple days it was posted, a lot of people loved the video and it got really positive reviews, but then I guess it made its way to BookTok and the people from BookTok came to the video and they did not feel the same. My original intention with the video was just to poke fun at the books, poke fun at myself, and also poke fun at just the genre in general, not thinking that it meant that much to people. But in reading the comments, I'm realizing that I just got the tip of the iceberg. I did not know how deep BookTok went, and that is on me. I did not do the proper research, and I didn't realize how close to people's heart that they kept these books. And I really did upset people, and that is not what I want to do at all. When I make a video, I want to entertain people and have fun, and I missed the mark. I tried to make jokes here and there, and some people liked them, but a lot of people didn't like them, and it's completely valid.
They acknowledged the valid criticism, saying, "I really did upset people. That is not what I intended to do at all. I missed the mark." They emphasized their commitment to learning from the experience, saying, "I just want to take that video and your valid criticism and apply it to my other videos."
I panicked, absolutely. I did a very human thing, a very flawed human thing, and I went fully into defense mode and was just trying to reassure people that I meant no shame or judgment and that I thought that would help, but in doing so, it was just completely unproductive, and I just put fire to the flame, and when I should have been reading and retaining and then applying, I was just reading and reacting right away, when I should have just taken a step back and just realized why people were saying the things that they were saying, and it wasn't meant as hate towards me necessarily, at least the valid criticism. It was just meant for something for me to take into consideration. At the end of the day, I tried to do something with full intention of it being lighthearted, but I don't have an excuse as to why it came off so obtuse to a large group of people, and I just want to take that video and take your valid criticism and just apply it to my other videos, and I want to keep improving my content, and I never ever want to upset anyone, and I hope that everyone knows that. This isn't me just with my back against the wall. I really do care about not upsetting people. I genuinely was like, I don't know if it's best to just let this be or to talk about it, and I think talking about it is best, and just letting you know that I think you could read whatever you want, and I think that's awesome, and if it helps you, that's awesome, and if it's not for you, that's totally fine too. And I think the fact that reading is becoming more and more trendy is awesome, and that's part of the reason why I did the video, but it ended up just completely backfiring. Yeah, I just want everyone to know that all I can do is learn from this and apply it and do better.
So it does appear they have taken accountability and they feel remorseful for the dismissive and derogatory comments that were made. And you're allowed to make mistakes. We're only human. Just as long as those mistakes educate you going forward and make you think differently to make better choices in the future. It's possible to dislike a book without belittling those who enjoy it. The key lies in maintaining respect and empathy for everyone's different tastes. So what do you think about the comments that were made, and do you think the apology was sincere? I'd love to know your thoughts. Being a lover of many different book genres, including dark romance and romantasy, romance, I do feel like a couple of those remarks were a bit below the belt and were unnecessary and uncalled for. Sweeping comments like those to an entire community of readers just feels a little bit insensitive. Everyone reads different books for a variety of reasons. Personally, my issue wasn't with their actual book reviews, about the plots that they didn't enjoy, perhaps the tropes they didn't enjoy. Again, you're allowed to have a personal opinion, you're allowed to have dislikes and likes, but it was the comments that were targeted to others who enjoyed the books or the genres that felt a little bit off to me. Whilst looking into this, I did come across some BookTokers who had made some other valid points that we haven't particularly discussed here today. One of them being the use of other people's content in their video without their permission. I'm not 100% on the rules, but I know that there is a fair use disclaimer when you are reacting or using other people's content within yours. However, none of the content creators that featured in Kallmekris's video were credited. Their TikTok name never appeared, or their Instagram name or YouTube handle, nothing appeared. I think out of respect for other people's content that you are including in your own, you should at least reference them and provide a link so that others could follow them. So go ahead and watch the video. I will link it down below for you, and some BookTokers that share some really interesting points as well. So let me know your thoughts. Have you watched it, and how do you feel about the remarks that were made and the reviews? Thank you all so much for joining me today. Don't forget to subscribe and become part of the club on Aaron, and I will see you next week. Bye.